Zara.
Yes.
Like the store.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Hi friends, welcome back to On Location, produced with the support of Telestory Hive. We're so excited to be here in the middle of everything for the 44th Annual Vancouver International Film Festival. So you're going to have to stay tuned, watch all of our stories, watch our lives as we sit down with talented international and Canadian filmmakers. Joining me right now is Allison Reed, award-winning director whose latest film, Art of Adventure, follows the legendary journey of Robert Bateman and Bristol Foster, two friends who set out in the 1950s to drive from Africa to Australia. My goodness.
That's right.
That must have been quite an adventure. So, Allison, welcome to Vancouver.
Thank you. It's fantastic to be here. I couldn't think of a better place to premiere.
Amazing, amazing. You just got in from Toronto.
Good.
How was TIFF?
Oh, that was a whirlwind, a lovely whirlwind, but yes, nice to be in Vancouver. And Bob and Bristol, the stars of the doc, they live on Salt Spring Island, so it's great to be screening the film with so many friends and family around.
Brilliant. So they're coming into town and
Yes.
you get to do a Q&A. So what nights, how many screenings are they getting?
So there are 3 screenings. Sunday, October the 5th at 3 p.m. an afternoon screening at the Playhouse, which is beautiful. We're really looking forward to that. That'll be our world premiere. And then we're also screening at Granville Island Stage on Tuesday the 7th at 6 p.m. There's another screening on the 12th, but I hear that's sold out. And I hear tickets are going really well. So
That's really
yeah.
exciting. You know, it's such a great feeling as a filmmaker when you're coming into, you know, when it's also not your city and you're here. Okay, it's almost all sold out. Sorry, no more tickets. Like standby only, just in case someone
Yeah.
doesn't show up.
But come, we'll get you in
yeah,
there.
we'll get you in. So, how excited are you feeling? And like, tell us a bit about the journey of this amazing story of following these adventure seekers.
Yeah, so Robert Bateman,
Mhm.
some people may know him as this iconic wildlife artist. I
Mhm.
mean, when I was in my generation, when I was growing up, everyone in Canada knew him. He was a household name. Canada was giving his paintings to the royals as gifts from Canada, things like that. Very, very high profile wildlife artist. His work is just, it's realism, wildlife, landscapes and all that. But he got his start when he was on this journey. So his best friend, biologist Bristol Foster, is also an iconic Canadian. He's known for, one of the many things he's known for is being head of the Ecological Reserves Program here in BC for many years, and so he was able to set aside lots of areas that were very sensitive habitats and protect them. So when these two were in their 20s in 1957, they wanted to explore the world. So they started from Canada. They went to England, where they had this Land Rover custom built with 2 bunks in it. It was an ambulance body. They picked it up there, put a stove in the back, and put it on a ship down to Africa, and started their journey. So Bristol was filming it on his Bolex camera. So we have all this 16mm footage of the entire journey, and Bob was painting and sketching. So I had all these wonderful tools to tell the film with. And they were also writing letters home, and those letters were published back in Canada in the Toronto Telegram newspaper. It was a column called the Rover Boys, and they followed their journey, across Africa, across India, Malaya, and they had adventures, of course, in each one of these areas. So
I can only imagine back then how many individuals they must have inspired to get out there and see the world, because I really feel it triggers more compassion and connection, and I'm sure now watching this piece, and I feel like for someone like me, I've traveled quite a bit. By the age of 7, we have lived in 7 different countries. And I remember walking barefoot in Western Sahara for a report I was doing there in Morocco. And when you're standing there, and all you see, it just blows your mind. And I feel like only after having these adventures and then coming back to British Columbia, it makes me appreciate what I have here so much, because there's so much wild that we have here that I feel I haven't explored. So I'm truly excited to go on this adventure with you, and I'm gonna try to see, because I have a few passes, so I'm hoping to use.
Come.
Because honestly, it's one thing, like, yes, it's part of my job to sit down and watch the screeners, but man, the magic of the movies, whether it's a documentary or, you know, and something action-packed, and this one is going to be action-packed, you have to watch it with people.
Yes.
And when you have moments of like,
Exactly.
moments that take your breath away.
Oh.
So I want to hear about your journey of like going through this footage, you know, going to Salt Spring and, you know, having these interviews with them. Like, were there moments that you're like, I want to retrace their steps, I want to go take it even further in your
Yeah.
personal life, like even beyond the film?
Yeah, well, I think that's exactly why I connected with them in the story. And I want to say, you hit the nail on the head about understanding. I mean, I think this is a point in time in history where we really do need that understanding of other cultures, other ways of life. And when Bristol and Bob did this trip, they didn't do it as tourists. I mean, so many people now go to Spain and all they're doing is taking selfies, or they go to all these places and don't really immerse in the cultures and the you know, the landscapes, and like put down your devices and just be in the moment. And you really, I think they really came back with they always loved nature, they always felt connected to the planet. But there's no question it really affected them and affected the way they related to it for the rest of their lives. I mean, Bob is 95 years old, Bristol is 92 now, and they're both going to be at the Q&A tomorrow, and they're both thriving. You
What
know,
time
they're
is the
so,
Q&A?
It's right after the screening, so our screening's at 3, and so it'll be around 4:30,
Okay.
and
And where's this taking place again?
at the Playhouse.
At the Playhouse.
Yeah.
I love that we also have new venues this year that really shows the demand, and that's what I'm hearing from everyone at the festival, from the opening night to like
Yeah.
all the filmmakers I'm talking to. I'm like, wow, this is amazing, and it just makes me excited for you guys to
Yeah.
hear from audiences, whether someone's an art lover, film lover, or
Land Rover lovers.
Yeah.
There's all these Land Rover enthusiasts I didn't even know about. The Grizzly Torque. They named this Land Rover that they went around the planet on the Grizzly Torque, and it was like it was a character in the film. I mean, Bristol calls it a magic carpet to get into magical places, and I don't even want to start to tell you the adventures that they had. It's pretty incredible.
honestly, I feel like this could be a series. Like when you
I like the way you're thinking.
when you like,
Yeah.
because it's hard for someone, and I get it as I say this out loud, that it is a privilege to travel. Like, I totally understand. I'm from Pakistan, I was born there, and I remember my family used to live in Middle East, and I would just dream of, I thought airports and airplanes were the most fantastical, magical places. And to this day, like, I think something happens when you're in an airplane, when you're at an airport, because the person that I will be on my journey home, it will be a different person. And I think
Yeah.
the point of like whether someone works as a scientist or a photographer or a filmmaker or artist or in fashion, I think if you give yourself permission to see the world
Yes.
and be open to be curious and put yourself in positions to, like, I feel for me like it's like I want more moments that make me go that
Yeah.
that take my breath away, or that make me also feel small, to be like, hey, whatever you're worrying about is not the end of the world. There's a big wide world and it's waiting for you to explore. And I think through the work that you're doing and they did, they inspire others to be like,
Yeah, absolutely. You're getting this perfectly. I mean, they're true inspirations. And the thing about this film is it's an uplifting film. Like, you cannot help but fall in love with these guys. They're so funny, and it's inspirational. I mean, I don't want to give away what happens in the film, but their goal is to inspire, and they really do that. They really do that.
I'm so curious, like, first of all, congratulations, of course, on, you know, all the rave reviews you're receiving, but what really drew you? What where did the curiosity and what attracted you to their story?
Well, it's funny, I came to the story a little bit by accident because my first documentary was called The Woman Who Loves Giraffes. And it was about a Canadian woman who's known as the Jane Goodall of giraffes, but she was actually the first Western scientist in the world to study any African mammal in the wild.
Wow.
She went there to South Africa as a 23-year-old because she fell in love with giraffes at 4 and there was no info on them. So she was there before Goodall, but anyway, no one knew about Anne until the film came out, or very few people outside of the giraffe community. But since the film came out, you know, she's got a lot of accolades, and including the Order of Canada. So it's a really great story. Anyway, she was in the same university class as Bob and Bristol. So they were all in the same friendship circle. And when I was making The Woman Who Loves Giraffes, I reached out to them for photographs. And my partner and I happened to be vacationing on Salt Spring Island, and I thought, why don't we just look them up? And so we had lunch with them, and then I heard about this story and this trip around the world, and I was like, oh my gosh, how can I not make this film? Yeah.
So much synchronicity there.
Yes.
It's like you were meant to create this project.
Yeah.
So when you first saw their 16mm footage, what did you feel as a filmmaker, as a human being, as an adventure seeker? Because it's sort of, obviously you're following these folks who are going on these wild adventures, who are very curious and also educators, but I feel like you are them. It's sort of like mirroring. And then now you get to share their story with the rest of us through your eyes.
That's right. Yeah. So I started in the film and television industry as a stunt performer and stunt coordinator.
Woo!
So I'm particularly drawn to adventures.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons I connected to them so well. And yeah, seeing that footage, when you think that was 68 years ago that journey was captured, and the world has changed so much. So it really is a special thing to be able to go on that journey with them, because we couldn't make that journey today. We can make our own journeys, but they'll be very different, than Bob and Bristol experienced. So being able to immerse ourselves in what they experienced at that time is really cool. Yeah.
And how has their reaction been? Watching the film, and now they get to have this premiere and having the Q&A in their home province.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, and the fact that they get to share this with an audience.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think they're really excited about it. They have not seen the final film. They saw a cut of it in February. Okay. And they were so cute. Just them and their wives saw it, and they actually clapped afterwards. And they were like, normally we have some things to say, but this is really good. so that was a relief to me. They had their main comment was there's an owl sound they're both birders. So Bob and Bristol met at the Royal Ontario Museum at a junior naturalist club when they were youngsters, and they bonded over bird watching. So they're both particularly fond of birds, and there's an owl at play in the film, in the story, and we had put an owl noise in there, and they both said, that's the wrong type of owl, like that's not the right owl sound, like you have to get your, so I was like, whoa, okay, well, so we went to Cornell and got the correct owl hoot, and there was a difference between the male owl and the female owl, so anyway, that's all been corrected now. But yeah, it was wonderful to see them enjoying the film. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I can't wait for them to see it tomorrow. That's going to be special.
I'm so curious now, between both of these stories that you're sharing with me, does it inspire you to perhaps a project down the road for you to create where you're going and doing some research or bringing someone with you? Because it sounds like you are quite an adventure seeker and a filmmaker, and of course, like I come from film and television world too. And
we all are, aren't we?
Yeah, and honestly, I was literally yesterday listening to an interview with a local actor and stuntee who was, I guess, a stunt person first, Dan Payne, and he was talking about, they're the real heroes, and I agree because I've seen, like, especially female
Yeah.
stuntees.
Oh yeah.
And because with men you're wearing jeans and pants and everything. I mean, I'm totally kind of sidetracking, but
No, I know.
it's like, where are you gonna put the padding for the fall
Yeah.
when you're in a mini skirt or a bikini?
I know. Yeah.
So I'm so curious, like transitioning from that to filmmaking. What was that like for you?
Yeah, it was a bit of a natural progression for me. I mean, I started out. I've always had an interest in storytelling, and I wrote actually a couple of episodes of television when I was young in my 20s, and I was also doing my stunt career. And I love the adrenaline of doing stunts. I love so much about stunts. I mean, there's a real special bond amongst stunt performers and stunt coordinators and riggers who are often have our lives literally in their hands. So just love the stunt career. But I, as I got older, I became a stunt coordinator, and a stunt coordinator is really a microcosm of being a director. We deal with, camera departments. We deal with actors in actor action. You have to, really direct actors in actor sequences. We deal with props. We deal with hair, makeup, wardrobe. We as stunt coordinators, do many of the same things in a slightly different way that directors do. So it's more of a natural progression than you think. I think to move to directing from stunt coordinating. So yeah.
You must have really appreciated the Brad Pitt and the Leonardo
Yes,
DiCaprio
yes,
film,
of course,
because I
yes.
felt like that was very,
Yeah.
and
it was directed by a stunt guy.
Yeah, and we need more recognition for them. And I have friends in that world who've had also some serious injuries, and friends who've had amazing careers, and
Yes.
it's just like, for me, they're like the heroes out there. Okay, back to your current film.
Okay.
In a world that moves so fast, how do you think adventure and nature help us reconnect to ourselves, to our community, to our environment?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that we're all, me included, we're going so fast that we just don't take the time to really absorb this planet is so freaking incredible, and there's connecting with the natural world is so good for our mental and physical health. And if we just take a step back and make the effort to do that, I think that we'll all feel a lot better and be more connected to ways that we can protect it.
Were there any moments during this your filmmaking process that took your breath away, or moments that really left a mark on you, or any conversations?
Mm-hmm. Yes, there were. Okay. How do I start? So when I was first interviewing Bristol and Bob, before I knew there was a film here, but I didn't know what it was, so I was doing some development shooting. And one of the things we like when we're telling stories is conflict, drama, like something that's hardship, basically. So I was questioning both Bob and Bristol about the hardest times in their lives, and I was questioning Bristol about a hard time in his life, and it was something. I'm not going to give it away because we're going to post this scene on YouTube. So I have my company is Free Spirit Films, and there's so many awesome scenes from the movie that are not in the movie, and this is one of those scenes. It's my favorite scene, and it will be posted on that channel. So what happened is Bristol talked about this event in his life, which obviously affected him very, very deeply. But he's a scientist, and he's also from a generation that doesn't really show their feelings. So he told me the story very matter-of-factly. And I was digging deeply with my questions because I wanted to, get something. And he told me he was open, but he didn't do it with any emotion. And when I stopped the interview, I looked around, and his wife and his stepson were both bawling. And so he went over to comfort them, and I got them to turn the camera on again. And Libby, Bristol's wife, said, you know, I think I show the emotion for Bristol. I've always done that for him. And so that was a really powerful moment for me, and it showed the yin and the yang. Like, Bristol's a scientist, Libby, his wife, is an astrologer. And you'd think that they wouldn't, you know, they would be, you know, at loggerheads, but they sort of complement one another. And yeah, so that was one of the very powerful moments.
Beautiful. I'm looking forward to seeing the clip. I'll make sure to follow because
Yeah.
we're going live on YouTube right now as well.
Oh, okay, good.
Yes, yes.
Good.
I'll make sure to follow you.
Okay.
I'm curious about your journey as a filmmaker, and particularly as a female filmmaker. Obviously, you have the eye already because of working in the industry. I think, you know, quite often folks ask me, they're like, what journalism school did you go to? What did you do?
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, I'm not telling people to do this, but I barely graduated high school. And I was like, I'm just like a very curious person, and I like having experiences in life. I'm very curious about people. You know, I connect to people like Oprah, who's like, she'll be like, I'm the person who was crying. I'm like, that's me, because I'm there. Like, when you're telling me something, like, you get to the heart of the matter. And I think especially with filmmakers, like, you're going on a journey. It's a process, right?
Sure.
So, like, coming from that world and what it has been like as a filmmaker for you.
Well, it's interesting because I've always had that want to tell stories in me. And the nice thing about my career is I've been able to, you know, do projects as a gun for hire, which I also love because, you know, when I'm being hired as a, you know, episodic television director, that's my one focus, and I can really immerse in that. When I'm making my own passion projects, which I also love to do, I'm wearing way more hats, and it's way more pressure, but it's also a story that I'm, you know, particularly want to tell. So I like having both aspects to my career. Yeah, it's really, it's funny connecting with other filmmakers here at VIFF, because we're all the same. You know, it takes so much tenacity to get a film made. These days, no matter who you are, no matter what your track record is, no one says, oh, it was easy, I just applied for the funding and the broadcasters came on and we just made the film. No one has a story like that. So, yeah, it's just been great to connect with other filmmakers and feel camaraderie with them about, and feel their passion about the stories they want to tell as well.
And what advice would you give to young women out there who are wanting to get into filmmaking, documentary films particularly?
Well, it's funny. I mean, the advice is just do not let go of your dreams. Like, if you've got a dream, if there's something you want to do, pursue it and don't give up. You know, when you're on a film set, the nice thing about people in film, whether it's a grip or the crossover person, or everyone has a story that they want to tell and a film idea. And very few of those films get made, and it's just tenacity. I mean, in making this film, you know, with Robert Bateman attached to it, I thought it would be a slam dunk, and, you know, it wasn't. It's taken me 4 years to make the film, but I've received a lot of no's, and sometimes, like, it was 3 no's from the same entity, and then it turned into a yes. So don't worry about the no's. It's only the yeses that count, and just keep on going until you find them.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
And the other thing is about being a woman. I mean, people ask me that about being a female stunt coordinator. How's it being a female stunt coordinator? And the thing about, I didn't approach it as being a woman, a female stunt coordinator. I was just a stunt coordinator. So it's like, as a woman, you have every right to be at the table, and behave like that. Don't doubt yourself. That's the advice I would give. Yeah.
Take up space.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think I've met like one female stunt coordinator here.
Yes.
No, actually two.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Who?
And
Marnie?
yes, and
Melissa?
no, she's
in LA.
married. She's half Lebanese. She's married
Okay.
to Tamil Panic.
Okay. Okay.
And
But
really
there are-
amazing.
Yeah.
And she also was like my stunt person on a job I did, but I ended up doing my own. I was like,
Yeah.
because in my brain, I'm like, that'll be stunt actor pay. I'm like, I'll do all the falls in the sand. I can roll over if you like, in the hundreds. So, yeah, amazing. So
Okay.
we're so excited about your project. And
Thank you.
I'm so grateful we got to sit down and have this
Yeah.
conversation. And
Thanks.
it's always, and especially coming from, you know, the long days when people have been in the trenches, it's like, you know, you're coming from that place of that tenacity.
Yeah.
The like, I worked all kinds of jobs on set until, you know, you just got to keep going. And
Exactly.
well, thank you so much, Allison. Make
Thank
sure,
you,
folks, to watch Art of Adventure. You can find Film Times. Will make sure to share that over there. I'll make sure to share information so people can go and see if their tickets still available, because we're hoping there still are.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Please go.
I
We'll
want
get you in.
wonderful.
Find me. I'll sneak you in the back door if I have to.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much, Allison.
Okay.
Thank you all for tuning in, for watching. This has been On Location Vancouver, and our coverage of the 44th Annual Vancouver International Film Festival continues, where we're bringing you amazing behind-the-scenes moments with filmmakers, talent from across Canada, as well as around the world. Flupe!
Thank you. That was so nice.
My pleasure. I think I cut like just on time, because I realized I also didn't